The music of your life, my child, has for so long been a sad and a sorrowful tune. Your heart has been a heavy drum, beating out a slow and weary rhythm of grief. Your breath has been a lonely flute, sighing a melody of loss and of longing, and your thoughts have been a discordant string section, playing the anxious and unsettling chords of your fear. You have listened to this inner music, this muted and melancholy soundtrack of your own soul, and you have come to believe that this is the only song your life will ever sing. They, the world, with their love for the bright and the joyful melodies, have often been deaf to your quiet dirge, or have grown impatient with its sorrowful refrain. And you, my beloved, in the profound loneliness of your own sad song, you have despaired, believing that you are destined to live forever in this minor key, that your story is a tragedy, and that the music of joy is a tune that your own heart has forgotten how to play. But you have misunderstood the nature of this music, my child, and you have not yet seen the magnificent, redemptive vision of the master composer. For I have been listening to the beautiful, poignant melody of your sorrow, and I have come to you now to take up the conductor's baton of your life and to begin a new and a glorious movement in your symphony. I will take the very notes of your pain, the very themes of your grief, and I will weave them into a new and a magnificent composition, for I have come to turn your sorrow into song. I know this sad music so well, my precious one, for I have been the silent audience to its every performance. I have been with you in the long and wearying symphony of your pain. I have heard the quiet, aching adagio of your grief, the movement of your life that has been so filled with a sense of loss, of emptiness. It has been a slow and a heavy music, a melody that has seemed to have no resolution, no end. And it has been a lonely music, played in the quiet chambers of your own heart. A sorrow so deep you have felt no one else could possibly understand its tune. I have also heard the frantic, chaotic scherzo of your anxiety, the passages of your life where your thoughts have been a frantic, racing cacophony of fear, where your heart has pounded with a wild and a disorienting rhythm. This has been a jarring and unsettling music, a sound that has left your spirit feeling frayed, on edge, unable to find a moment of peace. You have tried to quiet this inner noise, to bring a sense of order to the chaos. But the music of your fear has often felt too powerful, too overwhelming, and I have heard the deep, resonant, and sorrowful basso continuo of your despair, the low, constant note of hopelessness that has undergirded so much of your experience. It is a note that has whispered that things will never change, that your song will always be a sad one, that the beautiful, major key melodies of joy and of hope are not for you. This deep, persistent note of despair has been, perhaps, the most painful of all, for it has sought to convince you that a very score of your life has been written as a tragedy, with no possibility of a triumphant or a joyful end. This is the muted music of a heavy heart, my child, and to live in a world that is so often filled with its own loud and often shallow, happy tunes, while your own inner world is filled with such a sorrowful symphony, has been a profoundly isolating experience. The world is impatient with sad songs. It demands a quick resolution, a swift return to a cheerful melody. It has not known how to sit with you in the beautiful, poignant, and holy stillness of your minor key. And so you have learned to mute your own music You have learned to wear a mask of a quiet composure, while within, the sorrowful symphony has continued to play. And in this isolation, you have come to believe that your song is a flawed one, a wrong one. You have looked at the sad music of your own life and have judged it, have been ashamed of it. You have believed that a truly faithful soul will be one whose life was a constant, upbeat hymn of praise. And in your inability to produce this kind of music, you have felt yourself to be a spiritual failure, a disappointment to me, the one who gave you the gift of a heart that could sing, but I, your divine composer, I have not been disappointed in your song. My beloved, I have not been impatient with its sorrowful refrain. On the contrary, I have been listening with a heart that is filled with a profound and a tender love. For where you have heard only a sad and a broken tune, I have heard a melody of a magnificent and a profound beauty. I have heard in the sorrowful notes of your grief the beautiful, resonant theme of your great capacity to love. I have heard in the chaotic notes of your anxiety the passionate cry of a heart that longs for my peace. And in the very quietness of your despair, I have heard the deep and holy space that is now being created for a new and a more glorious song to be born. I have not been a distant, critical audience to your sorrowful symphony. My child, I have been your conductor, your ever-present companion, my own heart beating in time with the sorrowful rhythm of your own, and all the while, I have been holding the full score of your life in my hands, a score that you have not yet seen, and I have known, with a joyful and a certain knowledge, that the sorrowful minor key movement you have been in is not the end of the symphony. It has been a necessary, a powerful, and a profoundly beautiful prelude to the magnificent, triumphant, and joy-filled final movement that is now about to begin. The very themes of your sorrow, my child, the very melodic lines of your pain, are the very materials that I, your composer, will now take, and I will begin to weave them, to transform them, to resolve them into a new and a glorious key. The dissonance will give way to a beautiful harmony. The sorrowful adagio will be transformed into a joyful allegro, and the muted music of your heavy heart will become a magnificent, powerful, and triumphant anthem of my praise. So do not despair, my precious one. The sad song is not your final song. It has been a full, and a necessary accomplishment. But now, the page of score is turned. A new key signature is being written, and I, your loving composer, am here to do what I do best, to take the deepest sorrow and to turn it into a magnificent and everlasting and glorious song. Yes, precious child, as you stand in the echo of your own sorrowful music, your heart heavy with the belief that this sad dirge is the only song your life will ever sing. You must now understand the magnificent and glorious truth about the one who has been your silent and your most attentive audience. You have been listening to the notes of your own pain, and you have judged the entire symphony by this one sad movement. But you have been listening without knowing the intent of the composer, without seeing the full score, without comprehending the magnificent, redemptive vision that has been in his heart from the very beginning. I am the master composer, my beloved, in the sad and poignant music of your sorrow. which has felt to you like an ugly and a discordant noise, I have been hearing all along as a beautiful, a profound, and a magnificent theme. A theme full of a glorious potential. A melody that I, in my love and my skill, am even now beginning to develop, to transform, and to resolve into the most triumphant and most beautiful symphony of joy you have ever heard. You must understand, my child, that I am not like the world in how I listen. The world is often deaf to the quiet, minor key music of a hurting heart. It is drawn to the loud, the simple, the celebratory tunes. And so, it has not truly heard you, but I, your God. My ear is tuned to the most subtle frequencies of the human soul. I have heard every single note of your sorrowful song. I have heard the quiet, aching cello of your loneliness. I have heard the sharp, piercing piccolo of your acute pain. I have heard the deep, resonant, and trembling bass notes of your despair. And I have not turned away from this music. I have not found it unpleasant. On the contrary, my beloved, I have been drawn to it. I have been listening with a rapt and a compassionate attention, for your sorrowful song has been a thing of profound and of authentic beauty to me. Why do I say this, my child? Because the greatest, most beautiful music is not the music that is devoid of tension, of sadness, of the minor key. No, a song that is only ever happy is a shallow and a forgettable song. The truly great symphonies, the ones that move the heart and stir the soul, are the ones that are not afraid to journey through the dark and the sorrowful valleys of the minor key. It is the very presence of this sadness, of this tension, that makes the final, triumphant resolution into the major key so much more powerful, so much more satisfying, so much more glorious. The darkness of the minor key is what gives the light of the major key its magnificent and its breathtaking brilliance. And so, my beloved, the sorrowful music of your life has not been a mistake in the composition. It has been a necessary, a beautiful, and a profoundly important movement in the great symphony of your becoming. I have heard in your sad song the magnificent, poignant theme of a heart that has loved deeply, and has, therefore, grieved deeply. I have heard in it the beautiful, authentic cry of a soul that longs for a home, for a peace, for a redemption that it knows, instinctively, it cannot find in this world. Your sad song has not been a sign of your faithlessness. It has been a magnificent sign of your faith, a beautiful, though painful, testament to the fact that your heart was made for me, and that it will be restless until it finds its rest, its true and its joyful key in me. I am the master composer, my child, and I have a magnificent vision for the symphony that is your life. You have been hearing only the first movement, the sorrowful adagio, and you have believed it to be the entire work. But I, who hold the full score, I see it all. I see this beautiful, poignant theme of your present sorrow, and I also see how I will take this very theme, this very melody of your pain, and I will begin to develop it, to transform it, to weave it into a new and a more complex harmony. I will introduce new instruments, the gentle flute of a new comfort, the warm strings of a new hope, the triumphant brass of a new and a coming victory, and the very melody that has caused you such pain will be reharmonized. It will be recontextualized until it is no longer a song of your sorrow, but has become a magnificent and an integral part of the great and triumphant anthem of your redemption. Trust me in this, my beloved. I am a composer who knows what he is doing. I am not making it up as I go along. I have had the final, glorious, and joy-filled chord in my mind from the very beginning, and every note of your life, even the most painful, the most dissonant, has been a necessary and a perfect part of the journey towards that magnificent, final resolution. You have believed yourself to be a failed musician, unable to play the happy song you thought I wanted to hear. But I have not been looking for your performance. I have been composing a masterpiece. And you, my child, you have not been the musician. You have been my beautiful, magnificent, and beloved instrument. An instrument through which I am now creating a symphony of such profound, redemptive, and glorious beauty that it will be a wonder for all of eternity. So let go of your own judgment upon the music of your life. Let go of your shame for your own sad song, and surrender your heart, your life, your very being, into the hands of me, your loving, your masterful, and your faithful composer, and listen with a new and a hopeful ear, for the music is changing. The key is shifting. A new and a glorious movement is beginning, and the sad song of your sorrow is even now being transformed into a magnificent, a triumphant, and an everlasting symphony of joy. And so, my cherished child, as you begin to trust that I am the master composer of your life, that I hear not an ugly noise but a beautiful and a poignant melody in your sorrow, you must now come to understand the magnificent and loving purpose behind the very music you have so long lamented. For I know your heart still asks, why, if you are a God of joy, why has the symphony of my life been played for so long, such a sad and a minor key? Why the dissonance? Why the long, sorrowful adagio? I hear this question, my beloved, and I'm here to reveal to you a profound and a beautiful principle of all great music and of all great lives. A symphony that is composed only of bright and happy major chords is a shallow, a simple, and an ultimately forgettable tune. It is the journey through the rich, the complex, the deeply moving passages of the minor key that gives a great symphony its emotional power, its profound depth, and that makes its final, triumphant resolution into the major key a truly glorious and a breathtakingly satisfying experience. Your season of sorrow, my child, has not been a mistake in the composition. It has been the necessary, purposeful, and magnificently beautiful minor key movement in the grand symphony of your life. A movement that has been creating the very depth and the tension required for the magnificent, joyful song that is to come. You must understand, my child, that my intention for your life has never been to write a simple, happy jingle. I am composing a great and a glorious epic, a symphony of magnificent and an eternal significance. And such a work requires a depth, a complexity, a richness of emotional texture that cannot be found in a life of unbroken ease. The very sorrow that you have endured, the very minor key in which your life has been played, has been my chosen instrument for the creation of a profound and a lasting beauty in your soul. This minor key movement has served, first, to give your life a new and a magnificent depth, a life that has never known the sorrowful notes of grief, the dissonant chords of trial, is a life that often remains on the surface of things, but your journey through the valley of sorrow has carved a new and a beautiful depth within you. It has hollowed you out, creating a magnificent, resonant chamber in your soul, where the music of my own spirit can now echo with new and profound richness. The very weight of your grief has added a beautiful gravitas to your heart. You are no longer the person of shallowness, a person who is now capable of a deep, resilient voice and a meaningful joy. This new depth, my beloved, which has been so painfully carved by your sorrow, is a thing of profound and of eternal beauty, a quality that will make the music of your life a rich, a compelling, and a magnificent thing all who will hear it. And this season in the minor key has also served to develop the central, melodic theme of your life in a new and a beautiful way. The central theme of your life, my child, is your own unique, God-given identity, your own sacred story of your relationship with me. And it is often in the quiet, reflective, and often painful passages of the minor key that a melody is most beautifully, most poignantly developed in your season of sorrow. You have been forced to ask the great and the deep questions of your own heart. You have been brought to a new and a more authentic understanding of yourself, of your longings, of your need for me. And in this process, the simple melody of your early faith has been developed, has been enriched, has been given a new and a more complex beauty. The very sorrow you have endured has been the contrapuntal line that has brought a new richness and a new beauty to the central theme of your faith, and perhaps most importantly of all, my child. This long movement in the minor key has been creating in your heart a profound and a holy tension, a deep and a powerful longing for resolution, for the coming of the major key. A person who has only ever known the major key takes its joyful sound for granted. But you, my beloved, having dwelt for so long in the sorrowful, unresolved tension of the minor key, your heart has now been prepared to receive the coming joy with a new and a profound gratitude, a magnificent and a celebratory delight. The very purpose of the musical tension is to make the final resolution all the more sweet, all the more glorious, all the more satisfying. And the very purpose of your long season of sorrow has been to prepare your heart to experience the coming season of your joy with a depth and appreciation that an untested soul could never know. I am the master composer, my child, and I am a composer who knows the power of resolution. I never, ever write a symphony that ends in the minor key. I may journey through its dark and its sorrowful landscapes for a time, for a purpose. But my ultimate destination is always, always the glorious, the triumphant, and the joy-filled reality of the major key. And I am here to tell you, my beloved, that the sorrowful movement of your life's symphony has served its beautiful purpose. And now, the music is beginning to shift. A new chord is being introduced. A new key signature is being written. And the very melody of your sorrow is now beginning to be woven into a new and a magnificent harmony. A harmony that is now resolving with a breathtaking and a glorious beauty into the magnificent, triumphant, and everlasting major key of my own divine and unending joy. So when you look back upon your sorrow, my child, see it now with this new and beautiful understanding. It was not an ugly noise. It was a beautiful, a poignant, and a necessary music. It was the movement that gave your life its depth, that developed your character, that made you ready for the magnificent joy that is to come. Trust me, your composer, I have been with you in every note and the symphony of your life, because of this very journey through the minor key, will be a masterpiece of a profound, a resilient, and an everlasting beauty. The time for the sad music is ending, my child, and the time for the joyful, triumphant, and glorious new song is at hand. And so, my precious child, as you learn to trust that the sorrowful, minor key movement of your life has been a necessary and a beautiful part of your symphony, as you begin to see it not as a tragedy, but as a masterful composition by your loving God, the time for which this entire painful passage has been a preparation has now arrived. The long and dissonant chords of your child have served their purpose. They have created a profound depth, a holy tension in the music of your soul. But a good composer does not leave his audience in a state of unresolved tension forever. And I am the best of all composers. I am here to tell you now, my beloved, that a magnificent and a glorious shift is now occurring in the very score of your life. The melody is turning. I am beginning to resolve the sorrowful chords of your past into a new and a beautiful harmony. And you, if you will listen with the ears of your spirit, you will begin to hear the first beautiful and undeniable notes of the new and joyful song that I'm now beginning to sing over you. This turning of melody, my child, is a divine and a holy event, a moment of profound and beautiful transition. It may not be a sudden, jarring shift from one song to another. No, for I am a masterful composer, and my transitions are seamless, beautiful, and profound. I will take the very notes of your sorrow, the very melodic theme of your pain, and I will begin to subtly, yet powerfully, reharmonize it. I will place new and beautiful chords of my grace beneath the old, sad melody. And in doing so, I will change its very nature, its very meaning. The very tune that once made you weep with sorrow will, in my hands, become a part of the very song that will now make you weep with a new and a magnificent joy. You will begin to experience this turning of the melody as a series of small, yet glorious miracles in your own inner world. The first sign of this new song, my beloved, may be the sounding of a single, new, and unexpected chord in the orchestra of your soul. After a long season of hearing only the dissonant, unsettling chords of your anxiety and your fear, you may find, in a quiet moment, that you will hear something new, a chord of peace, a beautiful, sustained, and resonant harmony that seems to come from nowhere, and that, for a moment, stills the entire chaotic orchestra of your mind. It may be a fleeting moment, but it is a real one, and it is the first sound of your new music. It is me, your composer, beginning to introduce the new, peaceful, major key theme of your coming joy. Another of these first notes of your new song, my precious one, will be a moment of unexpected, unforced, and authentic gratitude. In the midst of your sorrow, you may find your heart, to its own surprise, welling up with a genuine thankfulness for a small and a simple beauty, the warmth of the sun, the kindness of a stranger, the beauty of a flower. This is not you trying to be grateful. This is the new song beginning to sing itself within you. It is the first sweet, melodic note of a heart that is beginning to heal, a heart that is beginning to be retuned to the frequencies of my goodness and my grace. Cherish these small notes of gratitude. My child, they are the beginning of the magnificent anthem of praise that your life is destined to become. And you'll hear the turning of a melody and the return of a gentle, quiet hope. This will not be the loud, brassy hope of a naive optimism, but a deeper, a wiser, and a more beautiful hope. A hope that is born of your journey through the darkness. It is the hope that whispers to your soul, my God is faithful. I have been through the fire, and he was with me, and he will be with me in whatever is to come. This quiet, resilient, and beautiful hope is the magnificent, central theme of your new song, the melodic line that will now carry your life forward into a new and a glorious future. I, your master composer, I am now at work, weaving these new sounds, these new themes, into the symphony of your life. And as I do, the old, sorrowful music will not be erased, but it will be redeemed. It will be transformed. It will find its true and beautiful place as the powerful, poignant, and necessary first movement of a symphony whose final movement is one of everlasting, triumphant, and glorious joy. So listen, my beloved, be still, and attune the ear of your heart to the new music that is beginning to play. The melody is turning, the harmony is shifting, the sorrow is being transformed, and the beautiful, magnificent, and glorious song of your new and joyful life in me is now, most certainly, beginning to be sung. And so, my precious child, as you begin to hear the magnificent turning of the melody in your own soul, as the first beautiful notes of your new song of hope and of peace begin to resound in the quiet chambers of your heart, the next and most glorious invitation is for you to become my willing and my joyful partner in this divine composition. For I am the master composer, the one who has written the score. But you, my beloved, you are my chosen musician, my lead vocalist in this magnificent symphony of your own redemption. And the music is made most beautiful, most powerful, when the musician learns to trust the composer completely, to yield their own voice to the new melody, and to sing the song that has been written for them with a heart that is full of a courageous and an expectant faith. I desire now to guide you in the sacred art of cooperation, a journey that will transform you from a passive listener of your own sorrowful dirge into an active and a powerful participant in the glorious anthem of your new and everlasting joy, the first and most foundational act of this cooperation. My child, is a beautiful and a necessary surrender. Before a musician can learn to play a new and a glorious song, they must first choose to lay down the old, tattered score of a sad song they have been playing. And so it is with you. For so long, the sad music of your sorrow has been your constant companion. You have known its every note, its every sorrowful refrain, and in a strange and a human way, you may have even found a certain sorrowful comfort in its familiarity. Your grief has become a part of your identity, the very theme song of your life, and to let it go, to choose to sing a new song, can feel like a betrayal of your own past, a denial of your own very real pain. But I'm not asking you to deny your pain. My beloved, I'm asking you to surrender it, to yield it, to offer it up to me as the very raw material from which the new song will be made, to yield your voice to me, the composer, is to make the courageous choice to stop rehearsing the old song of your sorrow in the practice room of your own mind. It is to let go of the identity of the tragic hero. It is to release your own need to be defined by your pain. And it is to say to me, with a new and a trusting heart, Father, I have sung this sad song for long enough. I lay it down now at your feet. I give you my sorrow. I give you my pain. And I ask you now, give me a new song to sing. This prayer of surrender, my child, is the magnificent open doorway through which the new music of my kingdom can now begin to flood your soul. And in this new partnership, my precious one, you are invited into the holy and the powerful practice of sowing in tears. You have believed your tears to be a pointless and a destructive flood. But in my divine economy, your tears can now become a beautiful and a potent seed. The great spiritual law of my kingdom is that that which is sown in tears will be reaped with songs of joy. And I am inviting you now to become a divine farmer of your own heart, to learn to take the very tears that still fall from your eyes and to actively, purposefully, and with a great and expectant faith, sow them in as seeds into the fertile ground of my promises. How do you do this? My beloved, when a wave of the old sorrow comes, when you feel the ache of your past and the tears begin to well up, you are no longer to be a passive victim of that wave. You are now invited to engage with it in a new and a powerful way. As a tear falls, you can consciously, in your spirit, offer it to me as a seed. You can pray, Father, I receive this feeling of sorrow. I do not resist it, but I also do not partner with it as my final reality. I take this very tear, this very pain, and I sow it now into the soil of your promise, that you will turn my sorrow into song. I plant this seed of my present pain, and I thank you, in faith, for the future harvest of joy that you have promised will grow from it. This act of sowing in tears, my child, is a magnificent act of defiance against the spirit of despair. It is a declaration that you will not allow your pain to be wasted. It is a profound act of trust in me, your divine gardener, your master composer. And it is the very process by which the water of your sorrow is transformed from a destructive flood into a life-giving irrigation, a holy water that will now nourish the very seeds of your coming joy. And as you sow your tears in faith, you are then invited to learn to sing your new song. At first, you may not feel it. The melody of joy may still feel foreign to your heart, which has for so long been accustomed to the minor key. But faith, my child, is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And I'm calling you now to begin to sing the song of your victory, even before you can feel its full emotional reality. You do this by speaking my truth over your own life. You do this by filling your mind and your mouth with the words of praise, of gratitude, of a courageous and expectant hope. When you feel the old sadness, you can choose to sing the new song of my comfort. When you feel the old fear, you can choose to sing the new song of my faithfulness. Your very words, my child, when they are aligned with my truth, become an instrument in my divine orchestra. a powerful force that has the ability to change the very atmosphere of your own soul. As you learn to sing this new song, you will find, to your quiet astonishment, that your own emotions will begin to come into a beautiful and a glorious harmony with the truth that you are singing. Your praise will become the very prophecy that calls into being the magnificent joy it is proclaiming. I am with you, my child, your patient and your loving music teacher. I am the one who is giving you this new song, and I am the one who will give you the grace, the strength, and the courage to sing it when your voice falters. My Spirit will be your strength. When you forget the words, He will bring them to your remembrance. This is a beautiful, joyful, and a creative partnership. My beloved, and as we work together, as you yield your sorrow, as you sow your tears, as you learn to sing my new song, the very music of your life will be transformed. The old, sorrowful dirge will fade into a distant memory, and in its place, a new and a magnificent anthem will arise, an anthem of a redeemed sorrow, a resilient hope, and a glorious, triumphant, and everlasting joy. And so, my cherished child, as you learn to partner with me in this sacred work of transformation, as you bravely yield your old, sorrowful dirge and begin to sing the new song of faith I have placed within your heart, the very music of your life begins to change into a new and a magnificent composition. The old, dissonant chords of your pain are now being resolved into beautiful harmonies of grace. The slow, heavy rhythm of your grief is now giving way to a new and a joyful tempo, and the entire symphony of your being, which was once played in a sad and a minor key, is now being gloriously, wonderfully, and triumphantly transposed into the bright and radiant major key of my own redemptive love. I invite you now, my beloved, to listen with me to the emerging splendor of your new life song, for it is a song of such profound depth, such authentic power, and such compelling beauty that it is becoming a magnificent, redemptive anthem, a song that will not only be your own joy, but will be a source of life and of hope to all who hear it. Let us first speak of the profound depth and the rich beauty of this new song. The world, in its shallowness, often prefers a simple, happy tune, a melody that is free from all complexity, from all sorrow, from all tension. But you know now, my child, that such a song, while it may be pleasant for a moment, is ultimately a forgettable and an unsatisfying thing. It lacks the emotional richness, the narrative power. That makes a piece of music truly great. But the new song of your life, my beloved, is not a simple tune. It is a great and a glorious symphony, and its magnificence is found precisely in the fact that it has not forgotten the minor key. The memory of your sorrow, the poignant theme of your past pain, has not been erased from the composition. No, my child, in my masterful and redemptive artistry, I have taken that very melody of your grief, and I have woven it into the very fabric of your new song of joy. This is the beautiful art of divine counterpoint. My child, your new melody of joy is now being played in a magnificent harmony with the old, sad melody of your redeemed sorrow, and the interplay between the two, the light and the shadow, the major and the minor, is what is creating a music of such profound and breathtaking beauty. Your joy is now a deeper joy because it remembers sorrow. Your peace is a more resilient peace because it has been tested by turmoil. Your hope is a more powerful hope because it has known the depths of despair. The very sorrow that you once believed was the ugliest part of your story has now, in my hands, become the very thing that is giving your new song its unique, its compelling, and its magnificent beauty. And from this depth, my beloved, comes an authentic and an irresistible power. The happy song of a soul that has never known a great trial can be a beautiful thing, but it often lacks the power to truly connect with a heart that is hurting. But your song, my child, your new and redemptive anthem, is a song that is steeped in an authentic, lived experience. And because of this, it has a magnificent and a holy power to bring hope and healing to other wounded souls. When another person who is still dwelling in the long, dark night of their own sorrow hears the new music of your life, they will hear something that is real, something that is credible. They will hear in your song the echoes of their own pain, the familiar notes of their own grief. And because they can hear their own story and yours, they will not turn away. They will listen, and as they listen, they will then hear the magnificent, miraculous, and hope-filled turning of the melody. They will hear how the theme of your sorrow has been transformed, has been resolved into a new and a beautiful theme of joy. And in hearing your story, in hearing your song, a new and a glorious possibility will be born in their own hearts. The possibility that their own sad song does not have to be the final word. That their own grief can also, by my grace, one day be turned into a new and a glorious joy. Your very life, my child, has become a song of hope for the hopeless. Your story is now a beautiful and a powerful gospel, a good news that is sung not just in words, but in the very music of your transformed being. This is the great and glorious purpose that I have been working in you all along. Your sorrow was not just for you. It was a sacred and a necessary preparation that has now made you a magnificent and effective instrument of my own healing, my own hope, my own redemptive love in a broken and a hurting world. I, your God, your master composer. I delight in the magnificent beauty of this redemptive anthem that your life is becoming. My heart is filled with a holy and a creative joy as I hear the beautiful harmonies, the profound melodies, the triumphant crescendo of your new song. To see the sorrow I have redeemed in you now become a source of the healing of another. This is the very fulfillment of my own heart's desire. So I invite you, my beloved, to embrace this new song. Do not hide it. Do not mute it. Live it out with a new and a beautiful confidence. Let the joyful, resilient, and compassionate music of your redeemed heart be a glorious and a powerful sound in this world that is so often filled with the noise of despair. For your life is no longer a sorrowful dirge. It is a magnificent, a powerful, and a beautiful redemptive anthem, and its music will bring hope to many, and a profound, and eternal, and a magnificent glory to me, your loving, your faithful, and your triumphant composer. And so, my cherished child, as you learn to live in the beautiful, harmonious reality of your new and redemptive anthem, as you witness the profound purpose that your own transformed story now has in the world, let this final and most magnificent truth become the very key signature of your soul. the eternal reality that will secure your joy forevermore. The beautiful new song that I, your master composer, have written for your life is not a fleeting tune for a passing season. It is not a melody that will fade with time or be silenced by a future sorrow. No. My beloved, the song I have given you is an eternal song, and this is my solemn, unbreakable, and everlasting promise to you. The new song of joy that has been born from your sorrow is now your eternal possession. Your very life will be an everlasting symphony of praise, a magnificent and an unending testament to the God who can take the deepest, most sorrowful dirge and turn it into the most glorious and never-ending song. The deepest fear of a heart that has known a long and a sad song is that the sorrowful music might one day return and become the dominant theme once more. You may still carry within you a quiet anxiety of fear that a new trial, a new loss, could silence the beautiful new melody of your joy and plunge you back into the old, familiar minor key of your grief. But I'm here to utterly, completely, and for all time, banish that fear from your spirit. For the transformation I have worked in you is not a superficial one. It is a change in the very substance and structure of your soul's music. The new song of your joy is now your inheritance. My child, it is your divine birthright as my redeemed and beloved one. It is not a temporary mood, but a permanent, foundational quality of your new being in me, in the world. Songs come and go. They are popular for a season, and then they are forgotten. But the song of your redeemed life, my beloved, is a timeless classic in my kingdom. An anthem whose beauty, whose power, whose truth will never fade. Your identity is no longer that of the one who sings a sad song. Your new and your eternal identity is that of a joyful singer of my grace, a magnificent instrument in the everlasting orchestra of my praise. This new song of your life, my child, is a song that will echo in eternity. The story that it tells the story of your journey from a profound sorrow into a magnificent joy has now become a part of the very lore of heaven. It is a story that will be told and retold, a song that will be sung and resung in my heavenly courts for all of eternity. The angels, who have been the silent witnesses to your long and sorrowful first movement, now rejoice with an everlasting joy as they hear the magnificent, triumphant, and beautiful final movements of your symphony. Your personal and often lonely journey through the valley of your sorrow has been transformed into a public and a glorious testament that will bring me joy and will bring wonder to all the heavenly host forever. This is the ultimate and magnificent purpose of your life's music. My beloved, it was not just for your own healing, but for my own eternal glory, my character as a redeeming, transforming, and joy-giving God is most beautifully, most powerfully displayed in a story just like yours. A life of unbroken ease is a simple melody, but a life that has known the deep, sorrowful notes of the minor key, and has then been magnificently, miraculously resolved into the triumphant, joyful chords of a major key victory that, my child, is a symphony of such profound and breathtaking beauty that it becomes one of the greatest testaments to the skill, the wisdom, and the love of its composer. Your life, your song, has become one of my most beautiful and most cherished masterpieces. My commitment to you, my precious one, is to be the everlasting composer and conductor of this beautiful symphony. I will never cease to write new and beautiful verses of joy for your life. My mercies are anew every morning, and so the music of your soul will be ever fresh, ever new. The river of my joy, from which your song now flows, will never run dry. You can face your future now with a new and a glorious confidence, knowing that your life is in the hands of a master composer who is utterly committed to filling it with the beautiful, a powerful, and an unending music of joy. Lift, then, my beloved, as the magnificent song that you have become. Let the joyful, resilient, and compassionate music of your redeemed heart be your gift to the world, and your beautiful act of worship to me. The old, sad dirge is over. Its themes have been redeemed. Its purpose has been fulfilled. And now, the magnificent, triumphant, and glorious anthem of your new life, your new joy, your new song, will be your beautiful and your eternal reality. For I have taken your deepest sorrow, my child, and I have turned it into a song that will never, ever end. And now, my cherished child, my beautiful song, as you rest in the magnificent and eternal reality of the new music that your life has become, let your spirit be completely at peace. The long and sorrowful movement of your past is over, its melody now redeemed and woven into a greater, more glorious symphony. You are no longer a sad and lonely dirge, but a triumphant and a joyful anthem of my grace, a masterpiece of music that brings a profound and a lasting delight to my own heart and to all of heaven. The old silence of your grief has been broken forever by a new and a beautiful sound. Rest in this. My beloved, listen to the beautiful music of your own redeemed soul, for your sorrow has indeed been turned into a song that is as profound, as beautiful, and as eternal as my own love for you.